What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer, and I am excited to be with you guys as I am twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, live from the basement. Well, not live, it's recorded, but I have the on-air sign. That kind of makes it look like it's live, like it's legit. Appreciate you guys for supporting me here at SLC Puck. Lots of tomfoolery, fun happening here. If you like the show, if you're new to the show, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, share with the family, share with your wife, share with your mistress. Do whatever you got to do. Just get the word out on SLC Puck and what the community we're trying to build here, centered around the Utah Mammoth and hockey as a whole in the Great Beehive State. Lots to talk about today. It is the 29th of June, 2025. We're just a day away, or I guess I should say a day removed from the end of the NHL Draft, 2 days removed from the first round of the NHL Draft, in which the Utah Mammoth picked a young man from Quebec with the 4th overall pick. Now, before we jump into the meat of the episode, which is talking about this exciting new prospect, and the reason why I'm not saying his name right now is because I'm terrified I'm going to mispronounce it. That's a kind of a theme on the show, is me not being good at pronouncing things. It's part of the charm, right? So we're going to get him in on the show to teach us how to pronounce his name. But before we hop into that, let me just remind you guys, independently funded podcast. We appreciate the good support of our friends at KSL.com for helping distribute the show. But if you want to support the show and all the good times we're having here, a great way to do that is to go to slcpuck.shop. I've got Big Tusk Energy, baby, celebrating the Utah Mammoth's branding. Right here, it's going to be the rallying cry for the community. Big Tusk Energy for fans who know what they're packing, if you know what I'm talking about. All this stuff, less than $25 right now, as part of the limited time founding herd sale. So get there, support SLC Puck, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as well. But yes, as I was saying, the first round of the NHL Draft, the entire NHL Draft, I should say, in the books. And it was long. It was agonizing. Thank goodness that the Utah Mammoth picked 4th in this draft. They were originally slated to pick 14th based on their final standings. They won the NHL Draft lottery with a 1.5% chance of moving up the maximum 10 spots. Nailed it. Thank you, ping pong balls. And let me say, for all of us who were trying to save time on Friday night and get to our men's league game, which we got our butts kicked handedly, it was great. It was nice to get the Utah pick out of the way so we could get on our way to a butt kicking. But Utah took a swing, drafted Caleb Desnoyers, I think. Desnoyers. Let's check it out. Our good friend Adrian Denny, radio host of the Utah Mammoth, put this on his Instagram story. I take comfort in this. I'm not the only member of the Utah hockey community who is going to have a hard time pronouncing his name, because right off the bat in
Caleb Desnoyers.
Desnoyers, okay.
Or Caleb Desnoyers in French.
Yep.
A bit harder, but if you guys want to try it,
we'll learn both.
Right off the bat in his
Caleb
media availability. Sorry, I'm going to pause this. Right off the bat in his media availability, first question, how do you pronounce your freaking name? So let's listen in one more time. Here we go.
Or Caleb Desnoyers in French.
Caleb Desnoyers. Desnoyers. Hey, and there's no way I'm going to mispronounce this now. I'll tell you that. But, very, very exciting. There was so much talk leading up to the draft. So many other prospects to be looked at and considered. I purposely avoided doing any prospect previews on SLC Puck because for me, I'm like, they're only going to pick one of these guys. It doesn't make sense to go too much into detail on, let's say, Brady Martin. Great story, right? I talked about him a little bit. The farm strong boy, wasn't even at the NHL Draft, which, by the way, he lucked out. I'm sure a lot of the people who were at the NHL Draft were envious of him. They would have much rather been working on the farm rather than deal with that dog and pony show that was the NHL Draft. That was kind of the hubbub on Twitter, was how agonizingly long it was. It was just such a downgrade from the draft the year before. Obviously we remember this in Utah as the Utah Hockey Club's first selection, Ryan and Ashley Smith, get up there with Bill Armstrong, pick T.J. Ginla. They do it at the Sphere in Vegas. It's a whole spectacle. It's amazing. It's fun. Everybody's in the room. They moved to the decentralized draft in Los Angeles this year with all the teams operating independently in their war rooms in their respective markets. Utah Mammoth picking from the Asher Adams Hotel in downtown Salt Lake City. But again, it was so agonizing to watch the draft. They'd make the pick. The kid would come up, shake hands with Gary Bettman, get his jersey, get his hat, and then go into this weird room on the side with like a very poorly connected Zoom call. It was like awkward. So not great. Caleb Desnoyers, though, he just exuded like this unmistakable aura. That was something that was said about him in the pre-draft process, is he just kind of had this big tusk energy, for lack of a better term. Like he just had this confidence, and he really exuded that when he spoke to I believe in just the media afterwards. He's like, what separates you from the pack? He's like, I'm confident. I know how to win. I've done it at every stage of my career. And he's right. Most recently in the KMJHL, which is a mouthful, as Cole Bagley said the other day on TV. He took Moncton to the championship, won playoff MVPs, did so in a way that has only been replicated in the past. Done previously, I think would probably be a better way to say that, by guys like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon. Again, won playoff MVP awards while battling through injuries to both of his wrists. So you got to think, when that heals up, a wrist injury in hockey kind of limits a lot of your ability, what you can do, but still battled through it, through a lot of grit. It was so interesting leading up to the draft. I mean, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. I was sort of speculating on my own, just based on, the aggregation of sources and scuttlebutt on Twitter from very reputable people in the hockey world, that Utah was going to be shopping this pick. I think they were, to be totally honest. And we see here on 32 Thoughts, Elliot Freeman. This was something grabbed by Utah Hockey Guy on Twitter. So appreciate Utah Hockey Guy for grabbing this. But we can see, let's just listen into this reporting from Elliot Freeman.
Okay, so I think Utah tried really hard to get to 2. I believe that Utah spent a lot of time trying to get to 2. San Jose kept it. They took Misa, and Utah got Desnoyers, and I'll have a story on him shortly.
Well, there you go. And so, again, not unfounded, right? But I'll tell you this. Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Utah Mammoth, did a really great job of selling like the legitimacy of the pick and the scouting process. It was getting the trade their first option, perhaps, maybe. We won't know. But again, what I really like about Bill Armstrong is he wants to build a narrative that is very player first in this. The first things out of his mouth right after Desnoyers was drafted, when they were doing that awkward stand-up thing, in Los Angeles, he said, "Listen, bud, you were our dog. You were our top choice from the second we got this 4th overall pick. We're super excited to have you here." And so you can understand why he's doing that. He wants to keep that confidence up. Confidence is everything. Big tusk energy is everything in sports. He doesn't want, Desnoyers to think, oh, they were trying to get Michael Misa instead of me. They even want me here. No, they're not even going to foster even a little bit, even a seed of that thought, which again, I think is a really smart way to approach it. It's interesting though, to hear the reporting from Elliot Freeman, which again, sort of does back up what I was thinking. And again, it was so confusing. The Utah Mammoth did their draft show, and right off the jump, Matt McConnell, started talking about how there was a trade in the works with the New York Islanders. I'm not sure if he meant that there was a trade in work between the Utah Mammoth and the Islanders, or if he was referring to the trade that the Islanders made with the Montreal Canadiens to grab both of their picks in exchange for Noah Dobson. But again, it was all so unclear. We didn't really know what was going to happen until they got up on the stage and announced that Caleb Desnoyers was going to be their draft pick. So very exciting. How did we get to this though? I think there's something that we need to really give a lot of credit to. It's one of our society's great institutions. It's something that I think we're sitting here, it's 2025. Unfortunately, there are a lot of conflicts on the world, and this solution has yet to be even entertained by our world leaders. It's something that we know as a concept from childhood, and it sparks action. It sparks excitement. It's really the ultimate gathering place for people and for motivation. And the power of this concept cannot be overstated. What I'm talking about, of course, is the power of a pizza party. It is remarkable what can get done at a pizza party. You can get kids to get good grades. I guess you can do a lot of other things at a pizza party, but just think you can inspire your employees to work harder and to continue to be underpaid with the allure of a pizza party. You can also get to know your future NHL draft prospects. And that's exactly what the Utah Mammoth did here. Great reporting from my buddy Caleb Turner at KSL.com. He gathered some great stuff that was being said leading up to the draft. The Utah Mammoth took a big swing. That was something Bill Armstrong said in a preview on NHL Network. He's like, listen, I don't want a third line guy. I'd rather take a swing and miss than get someone who's just going to be buried in our lineup, taking up space. So I think that's what they got with Caleb Desnoyers. But it continues to talk about like the courtship process. And we talked about this a lot on the show, how they were taking guys out to dinner. They were interviewing their friends and family. They were getting to know these guys on a personal level. They wanted to get to know their character a little bit. And it turns out, like I said, the pizza party concept was a big part of this, right? So even better reporting on this, on the pizza party in specific, was done by Belle Fraser of the Salt Lake Tribune. She says here's the lead story. Caleb Desnoyers made a stop on his way to the NHL Draft. It was Bill Armstrong's backyard. Before he would become the Utah Mammoth's first-round pick, 4th overall, Desnoyers spent an evening as the general manager's dinner guest. They got to know each other. When you're in your backyard, it's pretty undercover, Armstrong quick, so I'm guessing it has really nice landscaping back there. There's not many people who are videoing over the bushes, thank goodness. It was pretty secure. We brought him in the garage and got him to the backyard. Okay, wow, they slipped him in, huh? That night, Armstrong revealed his limitations. We don't cook at our house, so instead they ate pizza from Nomad East in Yellowcrest, and Desnoyers sold the Utah Mammoth and scouts on his talent. So, again, it was a pizza party that really convinced the brass at the Utah Mammoth to select Caleb Desnoyers, and which underscores my point. The pizza party is a revolutionary concept. It's been around my entire life. It's 2 words. I mean, just think about how fun those 2 words are independently. Pizza. Everybody loves pizza. Party. Who doesn't love a party? You put them together, pizza party, you got something really special here. I mean, and I'll just say this, Nomad East in Yellowcrest, I've been there. It's great pizza. We're not talking like, Domino's, Pizza Hut, even the pie. I like all those places. I think it's hard to find a pizza I don't like, to tell you the truth. I mean, you even catch me like on a bad day, like when I'm really hungry, I'll stop at 7-Eleven and get a slice of the pizza there. That's how much I like. It's hard to screw up pizza. Pizza's awesome. But Nomad East is very good pizza. And let's just look at the menu here just to get a taste of what they were tasting at Nomad East. We can see here it's pizza that's elevated, right? A cheese pizza starts at $13. I've had this pizza. It's about the size of a medium-sized pizza at Domino's. They also do a margarita pizza. Betty White, the Roni Boy, which is great, has the jalapenos and hot honey, which I quite enjoy putting a little maybe buffalo sauce on my pizza, some hot sauce. Hot honey is great. I mean, all this great stuff, right? This is an awesome place to get some pizza. The Braveheart pizza with tomato sauce, mozzarella, red onions, mushroom, artichoke hearts, red pepper flake, roasted red pepper. I would never get this pizza, but I imagine someone would, and they'd enjoy the heck out of it. Stock to the hand, garlic cream sauce, mozzarella, I mean, these are artisanal pizzas here, folks. I think this just really shows that this was a pizza party with a purpose, right? What I find most interesting about the menu here is it's sort of missing a lot of the institutions that we know and love at traditional pizza places. Hey guys, so sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind you once again about the incredible giveaway that we've had going on with our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for a while now. We've been giving out winners for gift cards, $250 gift cards to either one of those locations for quite a few months right now. We've been doing it throughout the summer. We're going to continue to do it through August. Very exciting. I know a lot of you guys are headed to weddings or, maybe just want to get something for someone anyway, and you want to save some money. It's a tight economy. I don't blame you. This is a great way to do it. But you don't have to wait to win a gift card to do it. Even by just mentioning SLC Puck at either one of these locations, Payne Anthony, that's at Trolley Square. Jonathan's Jewelry is up in Cottonwood Heights. Walk in there. Just say, hey, I'm an SLC Puck listener. Boom, $100 off your purchase, just like that. It's easy. All right. So all you got to do to enter the raffle, though, is just scan this QR code, hit send on the message, and you're in it. You'll get a message if you win. If you haven't won, you're still in the raffle. Keep going, baby. Grab someone else's phone. Enter that baby in. It's easy. It's all you got to do. So I want to give a big thanks to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for their support of SLC Puck. Thank you for letting me indulge the sponsors for a moment. And now let's get back to the show. I'm not seeing breadsticks on here. I don't see garlic knots. I don't see wings. There's roasted chicken. The dessert seems a little, little whatever, right? But it's not. This is not your traditional, Little Caesars pizza. This is pizza that's elevated. And I think, again, as I said, it just underscores the seriousness of the situation. But still, to do this at a pizza party is pretty fun. But we'll talk a little bit more about Caleb Desnoyers. Thank you again to Adrian Denny for grabbing that pronunciation for us. Caleb Desnoyers, we kind of had a feeling they were going to take a forward in this group. But as Bill Armstrong has said the last 2 years, their approach, especially high up in the draft, last year at 6 overall, this year at 4th overall, they're just taking the best overall player because they feel like if they have to trade for a different positional need, they can. That's easy enough, right? But still, they filled a need. I don't think this fills the immediate need. Desnoyers, 18 years old. He's a little skinny. He's 6'2", about 180 pounds. So he's got to lean up. He's got to bulk up a little bit more. He's pretty lean already. So we imagine he'll be taking a lot of protein over the next few years. Maybe he'll get more pizza with scoops of protein powder on them. We don't know, but he needs to add a little bit more muscle before he can be, as effective of an NHL player as he needs to be. Still, very confident kid. I believe he told the media today, and I'm talking to you guys on Sunday, the 29th, like his goal is to shock the hockey world and make the NHL team out of training camp this year. We'll see if it's possible. There might be some availability, some openings in the forward group, so it's not crazy. He'll have to really have a very impressive training camp. But again, just speaks to his confidence. But bulking up is going to be big for him. So I imagine they'll want to take some time with him to hit the weight room and have some more pizza with all the protein he can handle on it. But he's a smart kid, plays a 200-foot game. He's very effective in all three zones: defensive, neutral, offensive zone. Great passer. He's compared to Jonathan Toews a little bit, who's making a comeback this year with the Winnipeg Jets. They say he's a good skater, but he needs to be a little bit more explosive, needs to push the pace a little bit more. And you got to think that'll come with like building a little bit more leg strength, maybe doing some plyometrics, right? So for him to really make the NHL roster, he needs to hit the weight room. He needs to hit the battle ropes. He needs to do the thing where you jump with your feet like this. He needs to do that kind of stuff if he is interested in making the team as quick as possible. But we might not see him suit up in a regular season contest for the Utah Mammoth. I'm sure we'll see him maybe in some preseason action. We saw a little bit of T.J. Ginla in preseason action last year. So I would imagine we'll see maybe a little bit of him in a Utah Mammoth uniform in the games that don't count. But for the games that do count, he might be a year or two away. But again, they love his character. He's a mature kid. He's driven. The secret pizza party, I think, pushed him over the top. But, he's a very accomplished young man, won the Mike Bossy Trophy as the top prospect in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, was the first overall pick in that league in 2023. And here's what I like. I like here, the Utah Mammoth, they've already made our lives a lot easier knowing that people like me and many of the other fans who would have a hard time pronouncing Desnoyers, they call him Desi on social media. So that's easier. That's a lot more palatable to handle. And again, it's interesting to consider that he might be one of the first draft picks in history to have earned his spot, thanks in large part to pepperoni pizza. So that's a big accomplishment. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Bill Armstrong here. Utah Mammoth here. Catherine Brogart caught up with Bill Armstrong to get his thoughts on Caleb Desnoyers, the process that went into picking him. So let me just cue this up for you guys as soon as this ad plays here on utahmammoth.com. And we're off and running. Here we go.
Alongside Utah Mammoth General Manager Bill Armstrong. Bill, Caleb Desnoyers, the new Utah Mammoth player. What stood out to you and your scouts that made him the correct selection for this organization at number 4?
Well, he's a pretty special player when you go watch him. 17-year-old kid that, drove his team to a championship down the stretch and as a first-line center in the Quebec League, and you just don't see that very often. He was MVP down the stretch, so he can do it all. He can score goals. He can make plays. He leads his team. He's a pretty special human being off the ice, too. So we fell in love with not only the player but also the person.
When it comes to the player he can be, with more development and more time, what are you all expecting out of the player he will be in 3, 4, 5 years?
Well, it takes time to be a center in the National Hockey League. What we like is the fact of his height. He's going to be 6'2". He's got some weight to put on. He's got some growth in the strength department. But when you finish that off, he's got a chance to be a first, second line center in the National Hockey League, and those are the guys that you draft. They're hard to trade for.
He has a link with another Mammoth draft pick, Gabe Smith. Gabe and him won that championship together. What has Gabe said, and what have your scouts seen through that experience?
Well, I think Gabe was real excited about the fact that we chose him. They played together all year. They were unbelievable together. So it's going to be a nice tandem that we have, hopefully, for years to come. But super excited to get him on board, and just a special day for the Mammoth.
Thank you.
Great point there by Bill Armstrong. That's something I forgot to mention. Gabe Smith, another prospect in the Utah Mammoth pipeline. This guy signed his entry-level contract not too long ago. Did not cover that on the show. Apologies. I know Julian, 99.6, the Howl, covered that very well. But Gabe Smith and Caleb Desnoyers played together for the Moncton Wildcats. They won a championship as well. So it seemed like there's kind of a trend here on the Utah Mammoth that I think is pretty easy to see. I think Bill Armstrong really likes guys who can fill in a big body, and he's also a fan of drafting guys who have played together in the juniors and in other leagues and who have won championships together. The other situation in which we've seen this is with the two Russian boys, the Russian wrecking crew, Daniil But, Dmitry Shimashev. They won the KHL championship with the Locomotive this last year. They'll both be coming over to North America this year and should have every opportunity to make the Utah Mammoth this year. So again, there's a trend here. Big fellas who play together and who have won titles together. I think we see Bill Armstrong kind of has this blueprint in his mind where he sees these guys all coming together. They already have that championship DNA. They fill out their bodies a little bit. And by the time they grow into full-grown men, thanks to some pizza, perhaps, and there's lots of great places to get pizza, as I've already illustrated. This seems like one of the better ones, Nomad East. But again, the pie is great. I love the pie. Costco has fantastic pizza. I'll just add that. But again, you see this formula coming together where they're like, when these guys all grow up together, when they're in their full-grown men bodies, around 27, 28, that's when the Utah Mammoth are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the National Hockey League. And it sort of plays into my theory that I've been touting for a while, where I think they have the year 2030 or so circled on their calendar when they're going to really make their big push for a Stanley Cup. I think they can maybe expedite that by a year or two. But again, an exciting time for the Utah Mammoth. We finally can stop talking about the NHL Draft. Stop speculating. By the way, what was also great in the NHL Draft, which again underscores how long the draft was when the Ducks drafted that Roger McQueen kid and then took him down to Disneyland to get a picture with Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! But here's how long the NHL Draft was. McQueen was drafted at 10, and he was hanging out with Lightning McQueen in Carsland I think by the time the NHL was still picking at 26. He got in a helicopter and flew from downtown LA to Anaheim, and then was through security and in Cars Land getting one of those churros next to Lightning McQueen, and did that in less time than it took for the NHL to finish the first round, which was totally nuts. So again, the MVP of the night has to be the ping pong balls for getting us from 14 to 4, because waiting until 14 would have killed me. We might still be here, folks. We might still be waiting for the 14th overall pick. I'm kidding, of course. But anyway, we have Caleb Desnoyers. Welcome to Utah. We have, again, lots of great places to get a slice of pizza. I'm proud of the power of the pizza party for once again prevailing in its community building skills. And again, I think there's a lot of magic that happens when you combine pizzas and parties. So that's our episode of SLC Puck. Thank you for tuning in. You might have noticed no Sam Cam today. Sam was woefully unprepared, so we did it without her. Not to say that I was very prepared. But anyway, we do SLC Puck twice a week, Wednesdays, Sundays. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow at SLC Puck, BigTuskEnergy.com for merch, and we'll talk to you guys soon.